Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari He Radha Damodara Radha Damodara Radhe Haribol 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 Nitai Gora Haribol. So we're reading from Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, Chapter 2, verse number 9. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is the Sanskrit Samaskritam. Tasmin kute hite nashte kritamule vanaspatau vitapa iva susyanti Vishnu prana divau kasha. Word for word meaning. Tasmin, where he, kute, the most deceitful, ahite, enemy, nashte, is finished, kritamule, having its roots cut off, vanaspato, a tree, vitapa, the branches and leaves, eva, like, susyanti, dry up, Vishnu prana, whose life is Lord Vishnu, diva, okasa, the demigods. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. When the root of a tree is cut and the tree falls down, its branches and twigs automatically dry up. Similarly, when I have killed this diplomatic Vishnu, the demigods for whom Lord Vishnu is life and soul will lose the source of their life. The demigods for whom Lord Vishnu is the life and soul will lose the source of their life and wither away. Purport. The difference between the demigods and the demons is here explained. The demigods always follow the instructions. The demigods always follow the instructions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas the demons simply plan to disturb or kill him. Nevertheless, sometimes the demons very much appreciate the full dependence of the demigods upon the mercy of the Lord. This is indirect glorification of the demigods by the demons. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshunmilitamena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Devamrita Swaminiti Namine Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Vacharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So recently we went to pick up Kumari and Danya and I. We went to pick up my sister in Harrisburg airport, and they were showing this Narasimha Mahavatar movie there. So we went, the flight was late in the evening, so we went in the evening to see the movie because Danya really wanted to see it. And this movie is so graphic. I mean, it's it's digitally done. It's not real people, but it's so to see it in a screen with loud sounds and colors and animation. It was really amazing. Actually, we hear Srimad Bhagavatam about the atrocities of the brothers Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu and the kind of powers they had and how sinful they were and how powerful they were and how Prahlad was so saintly, even though he was put through all this, and he was completely Krishna conscious. Like one of the qualities of a devotee is tolerance. Like one lecture Prabhupada was talking about titikshava karunika, surudha sarvadehinam, ajata sattva santa, sadhava sadhubhushana. The qualities of a saintly person, one of them is tolerant, titikshava. First symptom of a devotee is tolerance. One lecture Prabhupada was talking about it, and very emotional, very emphasizing this point. Prabhupada was saying, tolerate, tolerate, tolerate. What can you do? What can be done? In Bombay, Prabhupada was trying to build a temple, the land of motherland, land of Dharma, and they came to demolish the temple and they gave so much disturbance. They wanted to arrest the devotees, saying the chanting is nuisance and noise pollution. Prabhupada was like so sorry. So Prabhupada was like making this point in his class, like tolerate, tolerate, tolerate. What can be done? All we are doing is chanting Hare Krishna, and they come to give us trouble. And Prahlad was so innocent, so respectful, so kind, so beautiful, such an angel. In the movie, we saw like how all his friends had like fangs and really ugly looking, but Prahlad had like a face like milk face. So so amazing, so amazing to see. But one of the things we saw was how tolerant he was. Like in the movie, it just brought like tears to see this, and we all cried so many times to see the kind of torture Prahlad was going through, and how he didn't mind, and everybody around him became a devotee, and the demons, they back in the day, at least they knew what is dharma, what the Krishna conscious people do, and all these details they knew. And they were going in this verse, we see that, Hiranyakashipu is ordering his team to go after all these Vaishnavas. And in the movie also, they were showing very graphically, they were terrorizing the devotees and the cows and, all the temples and deities. And, it was really painful. Nowadays, the history repeats itself, is the same old, same old. Nowadays, I was just thinking with the AI and stuff, the demons kind of think like, oh yeah, these Hare Krishnas, they jump up and down, they do this chanting in the streets, and they give out some religious books. But if they're able to closely monitor what we are doing and why we are doing, they may come after us in a more powerful way, because if they realize, Srila Prabhupada said, you have no idea what your politicians are and what they're capable of. And Srila Prabhupada also said, if they actually knew what I've come to do in your country, they would have killed me, they would have assassinated me, because this process is so powerful and is completely against the demoniac civilization and philosophy. It goes against everything the society is promoting, especially being in Gita Nagari. You can clearly see how there's so many artificial necessities. As soon as you step outside, systematically they've designed how to take our money from the moment you step out the door. Everything costs a lot, and it's really anarthas, complete anarthas. Like you go to gas station and it's like high price gas, and you go in, people are eating all this ultra processed foods and rushing rushing here and there, and always an anxiety to pay bills, and what next, like no clue of what is life. It's always worried about this and that, insecurity, like mental issues and anxiety issues, and there's no job security. So all these things, Srila Prabhupada's heart was breaking to see all these things. And Prabhupada said, if we spread Krishna consciousness, this demoniac society will be finished. He said, if we say no meat eating, then all slaughterhouses are finished. If we say no intoxication, then all the liquor shops and tobacco and coffee shops and everything will be closed. And no gambling. These cities like Vegas, Sin cities. Nowadays they put that slot machine everywhere, gas stations and 7-Eleven and everywhere you can go and gamble. And then they have a sticker saying if you're gambling, if you're constantly thinking of gambling, then you call this number, we will help you. This is the helpline. Once you're addicted. And then, this illicit sex, this whole society is all about illicit sex. It's so much anxiety for men and women to be like sexually active and sexually fit and look sexual, and starting from like 9, 10 years old. There's already so much confusion. Like one lecture, Devamrita Maharaj was saying back in the day that it's like a dog trying to chew on a bone. Like you give a big bone to a dog, there's no juice. So the dog is chewing on one side and then there's no juice, and then it flips it around and tries to chew on the other side. And then it chews in the middle, and like that, there's no juice. So the spirit soul trying to find happiness through sexual activities is no happiness, and then they try with like oh, maybe lesbian, maybe gay, maybe this, maybe that, maybe, this gender, that gender, pronoun, and you can call them he or she. There's so much false ego and confusion. It's it's really it's crazy, and all this pharma, all this medication. Like when you think about drug abuse, we generally think like, okay, some LSD or some acid or something, but nowadays the diet and lifestyle is so bad that everybody is put on medication. Everybody is put on some medication, and the medication has so much side effects. They're not, the diseases come about from, horrible lifestyle and anxiety. And then people are put on, medication that have so much side effects, long term, and they cost a lot of money. And they're not starting from the lab. The labs, even the labs work with the doctors, because even if the numbers are a little bit high, then the lab will tell you, oh, you have very high cholesterol, you have very high diabetes. And then you go to the doctor, and the doctors work closely with all these, pharmaceutical companies, and then they give medication, and then you have to go and buy, and you have to have insurance, and there's so much money in America is made by pharma and selling weapons, like selling nuclear weapons to the world, and jets and guns, and it's so crazy. I mean, we all already know this. I don't mean to um, talk about this, but Prabhupada was saying in one class, if Krishna consciousness spreads, there'll be no more illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, intoxication. All the demons will die. Thank you very much. It's like, and all the devotees are like, Jai Prabhupada. So Prabhupada was super confident. He didn't write these books, oh yeah, my Guru Maharaj asked me to write this, go to the West and write books in English. I did the Gita, now I'm going back. And, not like that. Prabhupada was with complete conviction, he wrote his books. I wanted to make revolution by when people read these books, then there is revolution, like just like in our lives. We are, witness, we are the proof. Tadvaga visargo janataga viplavo yasmin pratishlokom abaddavat namani anantasya yasonkitani yat sinvanti gayanti krinanti sadhav. So these books, Srila Prabhupada would say, I'm not a great scholar. My English is not the greatest, and I'm not the greatest in pronouncing the Sanskrit, and so humble. But he said, but see how our books are powerful. Anybody reads a page, a paragraph, a line, a word, they're sure to become devotees. And immediately, we read a small book by Srila Prabhupada, then immediately there's like a heart operation happen. And then we immediately give up all these demoniac propensities, and we understand what kind of anartha filled society we are living in and part of. And this is the story of the creation. Like in one purport, Srila Prabhupada writes how just like if a child wants to cook in the kitchen, the child may burn his or her finger. So the mother buys the child like a kitchen, like a toy kitchen. It looks pink, and it's got like, burners, and it's got oven, and it's got built-in microwave and sink and so many things. And the child is fully absorbed in thinking that I'm cooking. And then the child goes to feed the parents or siblings or like that. So, in a similar way, Prabhupada explains that, this if we wanted to imitate God, if we wanted to imitate Krishna, if we wanted to take the role of Krishna, there's no room for that in the spiritual world. The position is already filled, it's already taken. So Krishna is so kind, such a loving father. Krishna creates this Play-Doh like world where the living entities are given an opportunity to play Krishna. We are put here so we can think, I'm the center of the universe and it's all about me. I want to be the greatest. There's no competition like that. It's all about me and mine. Aham mameti, I, me, and mine. And if we get depressed if you're not able to do that successfully. So that's the you know nature of this world. And you have different gradations of demons, or demons not necessarily like with the pitchfork and horns and like that, but the to enjoy separate from Krishna, this mentality to enjoy separate from Krishna. So we have different gradations. You have, somebody like Hiranyakashipu, and then you have some, smaller and smaller demons. So, but in summary, this is the story of material life, how we can enjoy separate from Krishna. But it's not possible. It's not possible to enjoy. The second canto, Krishna tells Brahma that make sure you're very thorough that in the creation you don't allow any happiness. So this place is already rigged, it's already pre-planned. We can try all we want, but we can never solve the problems of life. Like you can't solve the problems of death. Prabhupada would say Einstein didn't say to his disciples, my dear disciples, I'm a greatest scientist. Here is a chemical. When I die, please inject this into me and bring me back to life. No, you cannot do that. It's common. Birth, death, old age, disease, and threefold miseries, no matter who it is. No matter who it is, like whether you're Queen of England or you're President of US or you're some dog or cat or a cow, or everybody just goes through this cruel time, marches on and destroys all our plans. So in the movie they were showing, in this movie that we saw, Narasimha movie, Hiranyakashipu performed such austerities. My God, it was unbelievable. And then he asks Brahma, like, can I please have this benediction of immortality? And Brahma says, no, I can't give you something I don't have. Even I have to die. And then Hiranyakashipu thought, oh, okay, I'll use my intelligence to become immortal. So he said, okay, please give me the benediction. I won't die by an animal or human. I won't die in the day or night or inside the palace or outside the palace, in the land or the sky, or by a weapon that's living or dead. And then he thought, oh, now I'm immortal. But he didn't realize that, Krishna is way smarter than we can imagine. We can't even understand how intelligent Krishna is. We can't fool Krishna. With all this technology, you can't replace. You can't replace, like my sister said, oh, I was watching this movie about this robo and a man is married to this, and then there's like an emotion develops in the robo lady, and they're so much in love, and somebody tried to force himself on this lady machine, and she kills him, and she was very impressed. I was saying, "Oh, this is not possible," and she's like, "What do you mean?" I said, we are in the spiritual world. We are gopas and gopis, and we are designed to have such rasa with Krishna and devotees. So, you know, imagine having a relationship with a machine. It's like so boring. It's so artificial. There's no juice, and it's like how long can you interact? And no wonder the mental illness is soaring, and this is like disgusting. For me, it sounded disgusting and scary and sad, but the movies are portraying it like, oh, this future, like you can marry a machine, they'll never disagree with you, and you can, leave the toilet seat up and, fart and burp, and your wife machine will not get on your case. You can live happily ever after like that. But this is so foolish. So Hiranyakashipu wanted that, and he got it, and he thought he can now terrorize. But vinasakale vivarita buddhi. When somebody is about to be destroyed, then they act in a really crazy way, like really more and more crazy. So he's so proud of his regime, and he calls Prahlad and kisses him, and they were completely anti-Vishnu. And then Prahlad starts preaching to him. So, my dear Prahlad, you're so cute. You're going to inherit all this wealth and kingdom and power. What did you learn in school? And Prahlad starts speaking, Nasadu manye asura varya dehinam sada samad vigna diyam asadgrahat hitvatmagatam grihamanda kupam manam gato yat harimas. Said, oh, my dear, best of the demons, Asura Varya Dehinam Sada Samadvi. Anybody who thinks the body is the self and this world to be their home will be saturated with anxiety. And Sada Samudvigna Diyam Asadgrahat Hitvatmagatam Griham Andakum. He said, get out of this deep dark well and go to Vanam Gato. He said, go to Vrindavan and take shelter of Hari, take shelter of Vishnu. And then Hiranyakashipu was like, you're talking about the killer of your uncle? You're a traitor. So he pushes him off his lap, and he had like no mercy. No mercy even for his own child. He orders the demons that Prahlad be like killed. And the wife couldn't believe it. And she's like, Kayadu couldn't believe it. She's like, let me talk to him, let me talk to him. He's just a child. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it. No, he has to be killed. So many ways. We read Bhagavatam, we know this. So many ways he was trying to kill Prahlad, trampling, bringing mad elephants to trample on him, made Hiranyakashipu's sister. She had powers to go into fire and she won't be burned. Holika. So Holika was holding Prahlad and entered into this funeral pyre, but she got burnt ash and Prahlad walked away. And he was thrown from a cliff and he was submerged in the ocean water and snakes and man-eating demons and was thrown into the boiling oil. The whole time he was just chanting, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, Om Namo Narayana, like this. And then when the Lord saw, a devotee being tortured, then he decided to come and kill this demon, just like we crush a wasp. Nrsingadev came, and this animation was showing so graphically the power and anger of the Lord is like anger personified, and how powerfully they were fighting. Anyway, before this scene of the Lord appearing, Hiranyakashipu is saying to Prahlad, I wanted to be immortal, but look like, you have become immortal without any tapasya. How is this possible? Where are you getting your powers from? And Prahlad tells him, we all get our powers from the same person, from Vishnu. And he's like, don't say the name Vishnu. So if we study the Bhagavatam, it's already there, it's nothing new. What we are seeing is just the same rerun movie, like petty demons, teeny demons trying to, uh, you know, imitate Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha, but it's not possible. It's always a defeat. Will be defeated. The only way out is Krishna consciousness. And that's what Prabhupada's writing in the purport. That's the difference between the demigods and the demons, is that the demigods are always willing to take the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead on their heads and follow the orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna makes it very easy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu made it very, very easy, and Srila Prabhupada practically made it like super easy um, through his compassion and intelligence and thoughtfulness. Prabhupada said, I'm giving all these examples because I'm always thinking about it. Because we can have majestic philosophy, but if we're not able to enter into it, it's not accessible for a common man, then it's useless. So we have amazing philosophy and we have compassionate, intelligent, self-realized acharyas. They've come and given us the path. No matter where we are, we can practice Krishna consciousness. It's totally possible, totally doable. I remember some the projects there, Mritamara started in New Zealand. When we were coming along, we would roll up our sleeping bags, take a shower, and do our japa and the morning prayers. Group of brahmacharis. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any furniture, this or that, TV. If you don't wake up in time, even you may not even get hot water because whoever wakes up first, they get a hot shower. And we go out on books all day and tell people about Krishna. And then Mrit Maharaj would say that, giving books is only 50% of the service. Then you got to hold their hands and help them read the books. So we'll bring people and cultivate them. In the evening, we sing Sat Goswami Ashtakam, take some simple prasadam and sleep. And there was so much resources, Lakshmi from book distribution, and so much manpower. Because usually our temples nowadays are struggling, uh, lack of manpower and lack of Lakshmi. So we usually you know, have to cater to all kinds of Indians and pujas and so many things, just, so we can maintain our projects. But the way Maharaj's project still going on strong after 30 years, there's so many people were coming and so much Lakshmi was coming. Not a lot of Lakshmi, but plenty to buy Sankirtan cars and pay rent and take organic prasadam. And this way, it's like the happiest times of my life. And I look back, and many others have god brothers have got married there. Everybody say the same thing. Even, people who become like real estate agents or police officers, or, they become millionaires and this and that. But everybody remembers, put away your sleeping bag and take a shower and chant and go on books. And if we had that training, then even if we had to work, for example, we wake up, do our rounds, offer something to Krishna, take breakfast, pack lunch, and this way, hear a class or two on the way to work, and this way we can, have a blissful life, no matter what ashram, where we are in life. We shouldn't follow this examples of Hiranyakashipu out there. And it's all about the sound we tune into. If we listen to materialistic friends and family and media, we will become contaminated. We are tatasta shakti. We will be influenced. So these are some of my humble thoughts and realizations. If any of you devotees have anything to share, please feel free. I'm also winding uh, up in time today because Devamrita Maharaj is giving a Bhagavatam class in Los Angeles, our time around 7:50. So I thought I'll end class in time that way. Those of you who want to hear a pure devotee speak, you will have the opportunity.
Very Shastakar Prabhu. Thank you for class.
Hare
Just
Krishna
wanted
Prabhu.
to especially appreciate a point which you said that I've also been thinking about. Bhagavatam has everything, all the different dramas, all the different issues that you can be in. There's really nothing new under the sun. But when we read Bhagavatam, we actually learn something from it. If you experience it within this material world, you don't necessarily learn anything. So we're very fortunate for that.
Yeah, nice realization. Thank you for that.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you so
Hare
much for an inspirational class. Yeah, just very insightful about how we are positioned in the degradation of Kali and I guess all the surviving demons from the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So my question relates to this ongoing battle and war. It's always there between the demons and the demigods. And we hear when Brahma went to the milk ocean, Surabhi, she went, or Mother Earth, she went to Brahma to, complain about the burden of the earth. And so even now, that burden, at least it was lessened by Krishna. but there is still a burdenness right now. And so when you read the description, what's so fascinating about it is that um, Brahma, when he transmitted the instructions, he told the demigods, now Kshirodakshaya Vishnu is telling all of you to take birth as demigods in these families, and you're going to actually assist him. So we know that Gora Lila is still continuing. So even though Mahaprabhu, um, he unmanifested his pastimes, but I mean his physical presence, but Gora Lila is still continuing. So how do we as practicing devotees take on this mentality that actually now that I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm like a demigod who's taken birth in this continuous battle with the demons. And just as the demigods in Krishna Lila, you don't hear of them like saying, oh, Krishna doesn't answer my prayers. Uh, Krishna has forsaken us. They're just for that entire lifetime, they're just totally focused, you know? So, how do we enter into the spirit and see that, yeah, this entire lifetime we have this opportunity to participate in Gora Lila just as the demigods participate in Krishna Lila to assist them in relieving the burden on the earth?
Yeah, I always appreciate your questions. So nicely put. Yes, Prabhu. So many things come to mind. One is that we are just humble servants of our spiritual master, nothing more, nothing less. Sometimes we feel like we're not good enough because we're not doing amazing things already. But from the examples of our spiritual master, and he's always reminding us in his classes, what to do. Like, for example, you will be married to this amazing Sankirtan devotee. She is the Palika Mataji. I look up to her, how good she is in book distribution and bringing people. So, that activity is so powerful. Um, Somehow or other, whether we're, ourselves, we're book distributors or we're assisting somebody who wants to distribute books or like this activity, however we can do it. Back in the day, like devotees would go out and sell a back to Goddard and bring back a quarter and eat in wax paper and things like that. But now our society is evolved financially. We have more opportunity, more money to distribute books, and like devotees like Yashadev opened a preaching center. So like all of us, directly, indirectly, if we can assist Guru Maharaj uh, in his efforts to assist Srila Prabhupada, then our life is success. Recently, I read this offering by B.B. Govinda Maharaj to Srila Prabhupada. He was mentioning how when he was younger, he thought he wanted to be like success. To be successful means like Srila Prabhupada, open many temples, write books, preach in all the continents and so many things, have, initiate disciples, so many things. But then he said, over the years, I've realized one thing I can actually do is imbibe the godly qualities of the spiritual master. How, the spiritual master is kind, compassionate, steady, always merciful, sound vibration emanating from their mouth, and like work hard for the mission. And so these qualities, if we can imbibe from the spiritual master, Maharaj was, I'm just paraphrasing what he said. You can read it, it's so inspiring. Maharaj was basically saying, now I am getting a little realization what it actually means to be like successful. So I personally feel like, if I can, you know, bring conditioned soul to the lotus feet of the great devotees and connect them. And just by these humble efforts, if all of us in our society, if we can do this directly or indirectly, or support or encourage or, like vouch, this way we will see radical changes. Like I was watching Narsing Avatar movie in Harrisburg, and in the AMC or whatever. I was thinking this is pretty amazing. It's gone mainstream. And now they've done one movie like this, and it's pretty philosophically like pretty accurate. And in the beginning, they said thanks to A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada and Gauranga Das. At the end, they were showing different Narsinga temples, and one of the temples they said Mayapur Vedic Planetarium is opening, and there's a famous Narsinga deity. Please visit, like this. And millions of people are watching this movie. And they say, look out for the next Avatar movie, which will be Parashuram. And the animation is so graphic, and like the horror was like, oof. I never thought about Narsinga pastimes was this intense. It's just like I've read it so many times, but this was like, so I'm just thinking they could do Mahabharat, they could do Ramayana, they could do like anything now. It's a low budget movie too. So I was just thinking the media and Krishna consciousness, Prabhupada and the acharyas predicted it's going to take off. We may not be around to see it, but it's going to be golden years. It's going to spread like anything. So we are like pioneering with our humble efforts. So if we can, have good exemplary lifestyle sadhana ourselves, and not fight and disagree, which is like the enemy, whether it's our wife or whether it's other devotees, and be in the mood of team, in the mood of supporting the mission. you know we will go back to God. And we may not be the one, but the Sankirtan will spread with us or without us. Hope that's okay.
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If there is nothing else, I will conclude here. Thank you all, Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, for tuning in your valuable time. Oh, Hare Krishna. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki